It was a Saturday evening. The world outside felt still and heavy, yet inside our living room the tension pressed down harder than silence ever could. My wife had just returned from meeting her old boyfriend over coffee. I said little when she walked in, but something in me tightened the moment I saw the carefree smile on her face. She looked so light-hearted, as if nothing mattered, and that smile gnawed at me. Trying to sound steady, I asked, "Do you really need to keep seeing him?" Her response was a grin, playful at first, the kind of expression that once melted me, but now it felt sharp, almost mocking. Then she let out a short, cutting laugh. "It's amusing," she said, her tone laced with scorn. "You get jealous every time. Maybe it means you're not enough." For a moment, I couldn't breathe. Her words lingered like venom, choking me. I wanted to fight back, to demand respect, but her laughter had already robbed me of strength. She leaned against the couch, scrolling casually through her phone, still smirking at my silence. My fists clenched as I turned away and walked into the bedroom, her words echoing mercilessly in my head. "Maybe you're not enough." That night, I lay awake beside her. Sleep never came. My thoughts kept wandering to the early years, when she admired my strength, when she told me I was the only man who made her feel safe. Now, she compared me to a past I had already beaten, and somehow I was losing. I realized I had surrendered too much power to her, and she had grown confident enough to belittle me in my own home. By morning, I wore a mask of normalcy. I made breakfast, spoke softly, even smiled when she mentioned she might see her ex again. But inside, something was burning. I decided I wouldn't shout, I wouldn't plead, I wouldn't beg. No, I would let her learn a lesson she would never forget. Over the following week, I shifted. I no longer waited for her calls or asked about her plans. Instead, I poured my time into the gym, into friends I had neglected, into myself. She noticed. One evening, she questioned why I hadn't answered her call. I shrugged, replying coolly, I had better things to do. Her smirk began to fade. Soon, she was checking my phone under the guise of casual curiosity. I caught her watching me closely as I dressed for dinner with colleagues. "Who's going to be there?" she asked sharply. I smiled faintly. "Does it matter? You don't seem to care what I do." By the second week, her confidence had cracked. She canceled outings with her ex, trying instead to make plans with me. But I wasn't chasing anymore. I didn't reject her, but I didn't rush to please her either. The power dynamic had shifted, and she could feel it. That's when I set my plan in motion. Our wedding anniversary was coming, and she had been boasting to her friends about the way I always spoiled her with lavish dinners and gifts. So I told her I had arranged a special surprise for the occasion. She was glowing, excited, practically announcing to the world how perfect the evening would be. When the night came, she dressed beautifully, expecting romance. I drove her to the restaurant, but the moment we stepped inside, her face drained. At the reserved table sat her closest friends, her parents, and her ex, whom I had personally invited. Before she could speak, I raised my glass. "Thank you all for coming," I said evenly. "Tonight isn't only about our marriage. It's about honesty. My wife once laughed in my face and told me I might not be enough. She thought humiliating me was a joke. So, I've invited you all here so she can explain why she still meets her ex and ridicules her husband's love." The room fell silent. Her expression collapsed into panic, her voice stumbling with weak denials. But whispers spread. Her parents looked horrified. Her friends stared in disbelief. Even her ex shifted uneasily in his chair. I didn't let her regain footing. I placed a folder on the table, divorce papers already prepared. "You were right," I said, my voice cold but steady. "I'm not enough. Not for someone like you. But I'll be more than enough for the one who values loyalty and respect. Tonight is the last time you laugh at me." She broke down, pleading, but the tears meant nothing now. The mask she wore had been stripped away. Everyone had seen the cruelty she had hidden behind her charm. I walked out of that restaurant free, leaving her with the weight of her own shame. For the first time in years, I felt powerful again. She had once laughed at me, but now the world was laughing at her. That was my revenge. Not rage, not violence, but truth laid bare for all to see.